Innuendo, Book 5 of the Todd Mills Mystery Series. Author, R.D. Zimmerman. Publisher, Scribble Pub Press, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Narrator, Eric Aust. Chapter 36. After he paid for his beer at Jam's, Rawlings returned to his car, climbed in, and wondered what in the hell he should do next. He jabbed his car key into the ignition and was about to fire up the engine, but then instead pulled his phone from the pocket of his jacket. Yet again he tried Todd's cell phone, and yet again he tried the condo, failing to get an answer at either number. Rawlings then called his voicemail down at CID, finding to his surprise that Todd had in fact called. Pressing the small phone to his ear, Rawlings listened both carefully and nervously. "Hey, Rawlings, it's me, Todd. I'm okay. I think. It's a long story. I'll tell you later. But obviously, we have a lot of things to talk about. Listen, I've got to meet someone in a few minutes. I'll call you back later." More than stunned, Rawlings played the message a second and a third time. What the hell was going on? Unsure, Rawlings flicked off the phone, dropped the slim plastic device onto his lap, then just sat there in the parking lot, as angry as he was, fearful that one of the greatest things in his life had already started to unravel. Where the hell was Todd? What was he doing, and what did any of this mean? His phone began to chirp, which shocked Rawlings out of any kind of funk that he'd been about to tumble into. Praying that it was Todd, he snatched up the receiver. "Yeah. Hey, it's me, Foster. Oh, right. Hi. Did your guy show up? Is he with you?" "What? Oh, no." Grabbing and tugging at his hair with his right hand, Rawlings glanced around the parking lot. "The whole deal kind of fell apart. I'll tell you about it later." "Well then, let's do it." "Do what?" "Let's do like we talked about. Let's see what we can learn from Victor Michael Radzinski." "Right," thought Todd, Rawlings now recalling. That was their plan, to go right up to that place. That was what they had discussed. Just a few questions. That was all. Namely, what connection did Radzinski have to that house, and where was he the night Andrew Lyman was murdered? "Okay," said Rawlings. "I'll come pick you up. Where are you, down at City Hall?" "No, I'm at Christo's getting something to eat. You want a bite?" "You had dinner yet?" "No, I haven't." Rawlings tried to clear his head. "Why don't you order me something? I'll be there in 10 minutes. "Gotcha." Rawlings hung up, dropped the phone on the seat next to him, then started up his car and headed off. A quick bite, then a visit to a house supposedly leased by Tim Chase. At least that would be interesting. Who knew? Perhaps he'd even get a chance to meet the star himself. About an hour later, taking Foster's big brown Crown Victoria, they turned up the gently arching Mount Curve Avenue and found it lined with cars. "Must be a wedding or something going on," commented Foster as he pulled over and parked. "Yeah," mumbled Rawlings, scanning the street for either a white Saab or, for that matter, Todd's cheap Grand Cherokee. "So how are we going to do this?" "Let's just ask for Victor Radzinski and take it from there." "That's not much of a plan." "You got a better one?" "No." When they reached the front iron gate, Rawlings turned the handle and found it, of course, locked. Wondering if this was as far as they were going to get, he then pressed the button on the intercom box. A moment later, a man's deep voice called, "May I help you?" Rawlings nodded to Foster, who stepped up to the small box and said, "We'd like to speak with Victor Radzinski. Is he there?" There was a distinct pause before the voice replied, "Saint, who is this?" "I'm Sergeant Neil Foster, and I'm here with Sergeant Steve Rawlings. We're from the Minneapolis Police Department, and we'd like to ask Mr. Radzinski a few questions." "Can we come in?" Just a minute. I'll see." It was a long minute, 3 or 4, actually. Either there was a little conference going on, or they'd been blown off, and Rawlings was about to lean on the intercom button again when he heard something up at the house and saw the front door pulled open. And there he was, their guy, Victor Michael Radzinski. Stepping outside, Rawlings recognized him in an instant. "That's him," said Rawlings quietly, peering through the thick iron bars at the shaved-headed man. "Well, well, well." He was a fairly large guy, there was no doubt about that, with a thick neck and broad shoulders, as if he'd been pumping a lot of iron. He walked stiffly, and his dark clothes looked expensive. Keeping his voice low, Foster said, "Looks like a friendly guy, huh?" Radzinski took his own time, stopping just a couple of feet short of the gate. He looked at them in the fading light, cocked his head to the side. How may I help you? Are you Victor Michael Redzinski? Asked Rawlins. So. Is that you? Yes, but of what interest is that to you? Rawlins pulled out his badge and held it up. I'm Sergeant Steve Rawlins with the Minneapolis Police Department, and this is my partner, Sergeant Neil Foster. Nice to meet you, I'm sure. What can I do for you? For starters, began Foster, there's a speeding and reckless driving. There's also endangerment. Plus, there's the fact that you were evading two police officers. What? He asked, cracking a small, nervous smile. I'm afraid I don't understand. That was us behind you this afternoon, said Rawlins. We were in that silver car. You were in the white Saab. That was you chasing me? Yeah, no shit. That was us. He smiled a naughty grin, looked down at the ground, and ran one hand over the moon-like dome of his head. I'm very sorry. We've been having some problems, and I thought you were someone else. Like who? Asked Rawlins. A photographer, the so-called paparazzi. Unfortunately, we get them all the time, chasing us in cars, hanging from trees, dressing up like mailmen, and coming up to the house. You see, I work for someone very important. Someone who's quite... We know Tim Chase. Right, exactly, right. I'm in charge of his security, and I thought you were trying to take pictures of me or something. Clearly, not amused, Foster said. You nearly sideswiped a school bus. Someone could have been badly hurt. Yes, well, Mr. Redzinski, said Rawlins, cutting in. Where were you on the night of September 22nd? When? That's 3 nights ago. Where were you at approximately 10:30 that evening? I don't know. Here, I suppose. A witness saw a white Saab with California plates down at Lake Harriet. That car is registered to you. And the witness saw someone who matches your description throw a knife into the water. We've since recovered that knife, and our forensic lab is now testing it to see if that was the weapon used to kill a teenager by the name of Andrew Lyman earlier. That... Please, gentlemen, pleaded Redzinski, smiling nervously and holding up both hands. You've got the wrong guy. I'm not so sure we do. Foster stepped right up to the gate and grabbed onto one of the bars. Listen, we need some nice, simple answers. And we could, added Rawlins, arrest you right now for that little escapade this afternoon. Reckless endangerment and evading an officer are 2 charges that come to mind. Is that what you'd like? Shall we take you downtown where we can have a nice, long, serious talk? Please, let's not be too hasty, replied Redzinski, reaching up and unlocking the gate. Perhaps you'd like to come in and speak to my employer, Mr. Chase? Gay Mysteries audiobooks. I think it is easy to hate a label, but a face humanizes the word. So this effort is twofold. To offer comfort to those like myself that your world didn't end because you don't fit into the view of acceptable society on both sides. And in hopes of helping those with family that are LGBTQ, that it doesn't mean we are aliens from the child they once knew. Reassure them so they can maybe be supportive at the same time, being true to their values.